Alright, let's just check underneath the other building. And then we'll see. There appears to be nothing down here, so the concrete and the shapes, it's a little bit Russian, isn't it? Constructivist. So there's a thing behind here, the star, that's what the star is. Oh, I haven't tried going in the tower yet, have I? I just went behind the tower without going inside. Look at that, there's a thing behind that door. Can we get up there somehow? How do I get up to that level? Looks like there's a door there. So the tower, nothing behind the stairs. Apparently level 1 is open to me. Let me just walk out here first. The voice keeps speaking to me, I can't get it out of my head, it's wrong, it's all wrong. I agree. Listen to me very carefully, I have climbed this tower and no good has come of it. This world is the only world. Elohim's will continues eternal and paradise is banishing all of this from your mind. No! All who say they made it to the top are blatantly lying or they would say what was there. Yeah, good job dog, I agree. That's kinda cool though, how the game just kind of presents contradicting opinions on the nature of your god. Oh look, there's a device. We need to break the wood and then use that device on that kind of gate to get the star, I think. How do we break the wood? What if I just bang my head against it over and over again? That's not how you break that, alright. Maybe there's another thing that I can find to break the wood, I don't know. I am gonna go back to the first world and play it through sequentially. I'm not jumping ahead on purpose. I just want to see how big this place is before we do anything.
Cannot detect location of primary subject. Query. Query. Query.
No. So the game just lets you... A Sphinx. The game just lets you... Oh, I see. So you do need to go through the other puzzles to get enough pieces to do these, I see.
Is there anything that we associate more closely with intelligence than curiosity? Every intelligent species on Earth is attracted by the unknown. Our mythologies are full of riddles and mysteries and divine knowledge. Even the word apocalypse means revelation. It seems like our ancestors always imagined that even at the very end, we would solve one last mystery.
Well, given that our entire history has been about discovering more and more about the nature of our world, then yeah, discovery is, equated to progress. Because that's what we do, we find out more. Look, having more knowledge means that you have greater ability to manipulate things in the world, right? For example, knowing how to grow crops allows you to control your food supply, or knowing how the weather systems work means that you are safer from kind of storms and other natural disasters. Anyway, let me just finish my thought. So kind of curiosity leads to discovery, and discovery leads to mastery. Discovery allows you to manipulate things in the world in increasingly more sophisticated ways. So, and she says, and even at the end there'll be some sort of kind of revelation. Yeah, because progress demands revelation, because progress demands discovery. Equating curiosity with intelligence is not quite correct though, because there's a lot of things that are curious, or they want to learn, but they don't necessarily have the capacity to understand. Like, if you ever have a pet, like a dog or a cat, like your pets would come up to you to see what you're doing. Like if you're playing a video game, your cat might come along and see what you're doing, but the cat doesn't understand the video game. So it's curious, but it doesn't have the capacity to understand. So curiosity is obviously required for discovery, but just because you're curious doesn't mean you're going to figure it out. Right? On returning from the tower, I feel a great tiredness and an enormous energy. What I now know disturbs me, but I hope that by living with this knowledge I might provide a shoulder for you, the giants of tomorrow. Alright, I guess we'll find out what that means after we get to the tower. The view from the top must be incredible? Question mark. Alright.
Where have you been, child?
I've been in the tower.
The great tower is
Shut
not
up.
for you.
Shut up.
Do not give up the hope of eternal life for the hollow promises of curiosity.
I don't care about eternal life. I don't think time obeys too many rules here, or so many rules we can't imagine. Clearly, I'm writing this message after you all wrote yours, but maybe we were all here at the same time as well. Possibly. The designer has granted me domain over the lands I have traveled, and with his sigils of power, I will make this whole world my domain. You're a moron. You're just finding keys to open doors to more puzzles, bro. Hey, he promised me the world as well. What a joker. That message just materialized on the wall in front of me. Interesting. So let me just... Oh, this thing is still beeping at me. I guess I should go talk to it. Alright, alright, alright. Heaven and hell, great. The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell a hell of heaven. What matter where if I be still the same, and what I should be all but less than he? Whom thunder hath made greater, here at last we shall be free. The Almighty hath not built here for his envy, will not drive us hence. Here we may reign secure, and in my choice to reign is worth ambition, though in hell better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. This is from Milton's Paradise Lost, where Lucifer is justifying his rebellion against God to say that, free will is worth more than whatever paradise God promises to you. Hell. William Blake. The ancient tradition that the world will be consumed in fire at the end of 6,000 years is true, as I have heard from hell. For the cherub with his flaming sword is hereby commanded to leave his guard at the tree of life, and when he does, the whole creation will be consumed and appear infinite and holy, whereas now it appears finite and corrupt. This will come to pass by an improvement of sensual enjoyment. What? But first, the notion that man has a body distinct from his soul is to be expunged. This I shall do by printing in the infernal method by corrosives, which in hell are salutary and medicinal, melting apparent surface away and displaying the infinite which was hid. Blake William, Collection, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. I'm not familiar with this one. What's he talking about? Something about burning the world away to reveal heaven beneath? This will come to pass by an improvement of sensual enjoyment. I don't know. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? All right. So stuff for you to look up if you're interested in literature enough to look up the references. All right. Let's just check this computer and then we'll go back to A and do the other puzzles. Beep boop beep boop. I want to talk to the assistant again. Oxyrhynchus? The great irony of the Oxyrhynchus papyri is that such a vital source of information about the ancient world exists only because of a garbage dump. While the Library of Alexandria burned at the hands of fanatics and conquerors, depriving us of unimaginable insights into history, philosophy, and art, the papers carelessly thrown away by the citizens of Oxyrhynchus survived to the modern day. And though it is true that a great deal of what we know today is because of the conscious effort of individual and organizations, such as the spectacular translation and preservation work done during the Islamic Golden Age, so much more is simply the result of coincidence and luck. That's true. We've lost texts that the ancients considered to be absolutely essential, while utterly trivial, even plagiarized work has survived unharmed. So if we want our descendants to remember more than glittering emo vampires and auto-tuned teen pop stars, we have to invest in something, make sure that something. I don't think it matters. I think the thing is, whatever is important will never truly be lost. I mean, sure, a text or a manuscript may be lost, but the ideas will persevere or resurface after a time. Like, if it's true and if it's knowledge, then either it'll be rediscovered or it'll be preserved in some other ways. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's continue. Book of Osiris. The Book of the Scribe of Osiris, sometimes also referred to as the Book of the Journey to Aru, is an ancient Egyptian text discovered in the excavation of Oxyrhynchus. It has caused a certain degree of controversy among Egyptologists, as some argue that it is a classic funerary text, such as the Book of Coming Forth by Day, while others believe it to be a poetic work not intended to be understood literally. The book tells the story of a dying man who asks a scribe about the afterlife. The scribe, a servant of Osiris, describes how the man's Ka life force will become separated from his Ba personality, and how he will have to reunite the two and become an Ark, living intellect. Passing a series of trials in the Duat underworld in order to reach the paradise of Aru. Unlike similar texts, the Book of the Scribe of Osiris focuses less on giving advice or... Why did they just leave out stuff? A recent study suggests the text may have been intended as philosophical commentary on the world of the living through the allegory of the Duat. It remains unclear whether this was the intent of the original Alexandrian author or a result of the later translation into Greek. The earlier manuscript, which is considered to be more authentic, is too fragmentary to provide answers, though perhaps further excavation may something else. Interesting. So the allegory of a man, was it the life force is separated from the personality, and which has to be reunited to become the living intellect, and then pass through a series of trials in the underworld to reach paradise. It's probably an allegory of some sort. Why would that happen after you die? Why doesn't that happen in your life? Isn't that kind of what life is? You have to kind of solve a bunch of questions to figure out what life is about. Alright, Athena 12. 12, the Council of Zeus. The great bronze bulls pulled the carriage forward, mighty bursts of steam issuing from their nostrils. Finally they came to the gates at the top of the something. Here assembled were all the many generations of the gods and demigods and souls of mortals, steel and bronze and iron, and memory of flesh. The clouds parted far beneath, revealing the beautiful plains of Macedon, where great gleaming cities had once. I mean, that's kind of cool. I want to read the rest of it though, but apparently it's corrupted. Professor Dr. Armin Hulock, The Fall of the Roman Empire, a dialectical approach. But interesting as such perspectives of the decline and ultimate dissolution of the Roman Empire may be, they ultimately put too much emphasis on individual catastrophic events. The real question that must be asked is why the Roman Empire, which had dealt with so many threats and catastrophes over the years, was so incapable of responding to these later problems. I don't know, because the people were too corrupt and too fat on their own success? We must investigate the division of wealth, the structure of government, the location of power in Roman society. Had the Republic survived or been restored, would Rome still have fallen? What was the role of debt and slavery in creating the conditions for what we now call the Dark Ages? Rome, the saying goes, was not built in a day. It didn't fall in a day neither. To register for the class, please email somebody. Sounds like an awesome class. But yeah, like the Roman Empire, they just got too fat on their own success and they became complacent. Alright, so there's all of that. I guess we should go back downstairs and keep working on A. Not really sure how because there's like a frozen island above, and then this sky. I think there's supposed to be a sky. Yeah, there's a sky outside here too. That's kind of funny. Alright, so I think I'm gonna take a break here. I feel like there's been more reading than puzzles, so I'm gonna take a break here. When we come back, we play through all these puzzles and maybe do a lot of reading as well. I'm having a good time, I think. The little pieces of text gives you quite a lot of things to think about. It's pretty interesting stuff. The puzzles seem really simple, but we've only gone through the first two, and there's apparently 21 rooms plus a tower, so we haven't even started really yet. Hopefully they get more interesting later on. Alright, I'll end the video here, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where we do some serious puzzling.